Dennis Johnson died the most tragic death, and it uncovered a lot of things that left people shocked. One of the biggest surprises was a disturbing domestic incident from way back in 1997 that most had never heard about. It really shook fans to the core. But that wasn't all. Rumors about drug use also started to surface, and many were in complete denial. For someone who always came across as strong and steady, these revelations were hard to believe. So here's how it all unfolded.
DJ can be so valuable without even scoring points. He knows what it takes during a game to win.
Dennis Johnson is as competitive as Larry Bird.
On February 22nd, 2007, Dennis Johnson tragically passed away at just 52 years old. He had just finished a practice session with the Austin Toros, the NBA Development League team he was coaching. Everything seemed normal until it wasn't. Right after practice, Johnson suddenly collapsed. Paramedics rushed to the scene and found him unconscious and in full cardiac arrest. They worked on him for 23 long minutes, trying everything they could to revive him. But sadly, by the time he reached the hospital, it was too late. He was pronounced dead, leaving the basketball world stunned and heartbroken. But as tragic as his passing was, what followed in the days and weeks afterward took many by surprise. Behind the image of the tough, clutch player known for his leadership and defensive grit, a darker and more complicated picture began to emerge. One of the most shocking revelations was tied to a police report from way back in 1997. It involved a serious domestic incident between Johnson and his wife, Donna. According to the report, filed by their son, Dwayne, things got heated during an argument at home. The situation reportedly escalated to the point where Johnson allegedly grabbed Donna in a choking manner while holding a knife. The incident was deeply disturbing, but back then, it didn't get much attention. And even when some media outlets mentioned it after Johnson's death, they often described it vaguely, using phrases like a messy domestic abuse incident, leaving out the full details. Then another part of Johnson's past resurfaced, this time involving drugs. Former Phoenix Suns teammate Johnny High brought up that Johnson had once been named in a drug-related investigation. According to secret grand jury documents from 1987, several Suns players had allegedly been involved in a drug scandal, and Johnson's name came up. This bombshell was based on confidential court testimony, and while nothing was ever proven against him, it was enough to stir conversation. Johnson himself firmly denied all of it. He always insisted he had never touched cocaine or any other illegal substances. For many fans, these revelations were hard to process. Dennis Johnson was a three-time NBA champion, a Finals MVP, and someone remembered for hitting big shots and locking down opponents. But like so many public figures, his life off the court had layers that most never saw. But it's only fair that we remember Dennis Johnson for his achievements and the incredible moments he gave us, rather than just focusing on the dark chapters. So get ready, because we're about to take a deep dive into where it all started. When Dennis Johnson entered the NBA in 1976, few predicted the journey he was about to take. Drafted in the second round by the Seattle Supersonics, DJ wasn't a flashy pick. He signed a modest 4-year deal, making $45,000 in his rookie season. Back then, he was just a backup guard behind veterans Slick Watts and Fred Brown, and he averaged 9.2 points and 1.5 assists. The Sonics missed the playoffs, and head coach Bill Russell stepped down. The next season started rough. Seattle lost 17 of its first 22 games. That led to another coaching change, bringing in Hall of Famer Lenny Wilkens. Wilkens saw something in Johnson and made him a starter, pairing him with new acquisition Gus Williams. It turned out to be a brilliant move. Johnson flourished, bumping up his stats to 12.7 points and 2.8 assists, while becoming known for his powerful dunks. During this time, announcer Bob Blackburn gave him the nickname DJ to help distinguish him from teammates John Johnson and Vinnie Johnson. The Sonics turned their season around and made the 1978 playoffs. They went on a Cinderella run, knocking off the Lakers, Blazers, and Nuggets, before facing the Washington Bullets in the NBA Finals. DJ made history in Game 3, blocking 7 shots, a finals record for a guard, but he struggled badly in Game 7, going 0 for 14 from the field. The Sonics lost the championship, and Johnson admitted he choked, but he also said that game taught him what it took to become great. He bounced back with a vengeance. In 1979, Seattle returned to the finals, again against the Bullets. This time, they finished the job. DJ was the standout, averaging nearly 23 points in the series and scoring 32 in a huge Game 4 overtime win. He was named NBA Finals MVP. That same season, he made his first All-Star game and All-Defensive First Team. He had officially arrived. The next season, he took another step forward, posting 19 points and 4.1 assists per game and earning All-NBA second-team honors. But the Sonics fell short in the Western Conference Finals to the Lakers. Despite all the talent Seattle had, DJ later called that loss one of the toughest of his career. Off the court, his relationship with Coach Wilkins began to sour. By season's end, the Sonics traded Johnson to the Phoenix Suns for Paul Westphal. Seattle's record dropped by 22 wins the next year. Clearly, they missed DJ. In Phoenix, Johnson became a top-scoring option. Over 3 seasons, he averaged between 14 and 20 points per game, made 2 All-Star games, and earned first-team All-NBA honors once. His defense remained elite, with 3 straight all-defensive first-team nods. The Suns had some playoff success early on, reaching the Western semis twice. But things unraveled in his final season. DJ again clashed with his coach, John McLeod, and the Suns traded him to Boston for Rick Roby. Phoenix, like Seattle, got significantly worse without him. Around that time, Johnson's name was mentioned in a drug scandal involving the Suns, but he strongly denied any involvement. By the time DJ arrived in Boston in 1983, the Celtics had a strong core: Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish, but they lacked a defensive stopper in the backcourt. Johnson, a perennial all-defensive team selection, was brought in to change that. He called it a dream come true and admired GM Red Auerbach's leadership. Now on his third team, DJ reinvented himself again. Once a dunking guard in Seattle and a scorer in Phoenix, he took on a playmaker role in Boston. In his first season, he helped lead the Celtics to the 1984 Finals against the Lakers. The rivalry was fierce, and DJ's defense on Magic Johnson was a turning point. He frustrated the Lakers star into uncharacteristic mistakes, and the Celtics won the series in 7 games. The next year, Johnson stepped up again, averaging nearly 17 points and over 7 assists, and hitting a buzzer beater in Game 4 of the Finals. But the Lakers got their revenge, winning in 6. DJ called that loss one of the hardest of his career. In 1986, the Celtics returned to the finals, facing the Houston Rockets and their twin towers, Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon. Led by Larry Bird, the Celtics took the title in 6 games. DJ earned his 3rd championship ring, continuing to play stellar defense and make clutch plays. In 1987, Johnson had one of the most memorable playoff moments of his career. In the Eastern Conference Finals against the Pistons, Larry Bird made a legendary steal and passed to DJ for a last-second layup to win Game 5. Johnson later said it was his favorite play of all time. He also had a heated back and forth with Pistons forward Dennis Rodman in the series. Though the Celtics won that battle, they lost the war, falling to the Lakers in the finals. Over the next few years, the Celtics aged and began to decline. DJ's stats dipped and injuries piled up, especially to Bird. The Celtics were bounced early in the playoffs from 1988 to 1990. Still, Johnson remained a reliable veteran presence. In his final season at age 35, he stepped back into the starting role when needed and earned the respect of teammates and coaches. After the Celtics didn't re-sign him in 1991, DJ retired. At his ceremony, Magic Johnson called him the best backcourt defender of all time. Larry Bird said DJ was the best teammate he ever had. That wraps up today's video. Make sure to hit like and subscribe so you're always in the loop, and drop a comment below to share your thoughts.